Welcome friends to Physics in 20 minutes. In this video we are going to talk about kinematics of circular motion. We are going to talk about motion in a circle, which is a motion in two dimension, uniform circular motion, acceleration in uniform circular motion, and non-uniform circular motion. Prerequisite is video number 18. So what is motion in a circle? If a particle is moving along a circular path, then it is said to be performing a circular motion. Examples: a merry-go-round, a vehicle moving on a circular track, the earth moves around the sun approximately in a circular orbit, the moon moves around the earth approximately in a circular orbit too. And in the school, the model of an atom we have seen, the electrons move around the nucleus in circular orbits. Many of the man-made satellites move around the Earth in circular orbits. So there are a number of examples of circular motion all around us. What is a uniform circular motion? Uniform means constant, same. So when a particle moves in circular motion with a constant speed at all the points, then the motion is called uniform circular motion. Example, a car may move on a curved road with constant speed. Maybe a satellite can move in a circular orbit. In those cases, the satellite moves with constant speed. We will now determine the acceleration in uniform circular motion. We have seen in video number 18 that if a body is moving on a curved path with a constant speed, in this case it's a circular path, then at any point P, the velocity vector is going to be tangential to the circular path or the curved path. If the speed is constant, then the acceleration vector is always perpendicular to the curved path. The angle between A and V is going to be 90 degree. So we can write the direction. The acceleration vector is perpendicular to the path. It is directed inwards towards the center of the circular path. This causes the direction of the velocity to change without changing the speed. In the circular motion, the velocity direction keeps changing continuously. So if the particle is at this point, the velocity will point in this direction. If the particle is at point P, velocity will point in this direction. If the particle is here, velocity will point in this direction. So as the particle travels on the circular path, the velocity vector keeps changing direction. To enable this change in direction, we need this acceleration which works towards the center. Such an acceleration is called a centripetal acceleration or radial acceleration. What will be the magnitude of such acceleration? Let's try to find it out. So we take a circular path. Let's take a particle at some point. Its position can be given in terms of a radius vector r1 from the center. The velocity vector at that instant, let it be v1, and it will be tangential to the curve at that point. After time delta t, the particle moves to the next point, next position. Its position can be given by vector r2, and the velocity at this point can be given by v2. As the particle moves from the first position to the second position, let radius vector trace out an angle which is equal to delta theta. Since the particle is moving at a constant speed, the magnitude of vector v1 and magnitude of vector v2, that is the length of the red and green vectors, are going to be same. Let that be equal to v. Similarly, the radius will remain constant. So although here vector r1 and vector r2 are different vectors, they point in different directions, their magnitude is constant. Let that magnitude be equal to r. Now if I join the tail of the two velocity vectors, then the angle between them will also turn out to be delta theta, because these two velocity vectors are perpendicular to the two radius vectors simultaneously. These two velocity vectors are perpendicular to these two radius vectors. So this angle is also delta theta. I can complete the triangle by drawing the third side as delta v, or change in velocity vector. I can complete the triangle here by drawing the third side as change in position vector. So I get two triangles. One is the velocity triangle and other one is the position triangle. One can note that the direction of the acceleration will be same as change in velocity vector. Change in velocity vector, if you notice carefully, it points towards the center of the circle, and therefore the acceleration vector also points towards the center of the circle. Therefore, this acceleration is our centripetal acceleration. Now, let's focus on the two triangles formed here. These two triangles are similar triangles because these two velocity vectors are perpendicular to these two radius vectors. These two triangles are similar triangles. Therefore, their ratio of the sides will also be same. So I can write, so magnitude of vector delta v upon magnitude of v1 is equal to magnitude of delta r upon magnitude of r1. We can drop this vector sign and modulus notation, and we can simply write it as delta v by v is equal to delta r by r. Therefore, we can write this equation for delta v, taking v in the denominator from left to the numerator in right. So we get delta v is equal to v delta r by r. The particle goes from first position to second position in time interval delta t. So we can divide this equation by delta t on both sides. So the average acceleration, which is given by rate of change of velocity, can be obtained as delta v by delta t, which can be written as v by r, delta r by delta t. We can take the limits delta t tending to 0, that means shrinking the interval between the first and second position. We get the instantaneous acceleration. So instantaneous acceleration will be given by, remember, when you take the limit of right hand side, v by r is constant, it will come out. Limit delta t tends to 0, delta r by delta t. But limit delta t tends to 0, delta r by delta t is nothing but the instantaneous velocity. Therefore, this is also equal to v, and therefore your final equation is v square upon r. Therefore, if you have a circular path, then at any point the velocity vector is tangential to the circular path and the acceleration vector points towards the center. The angle between them is 90 degree. The magnitude of this acceleration we have just derived is given as v square by r. Since this points along the radius towards the center, we may also call it a radial. So a radial is equal to v square upon r. What is the direction? So it is radially inward towards center. It is also called centripetal. What is the function of this acceleration? This acceleration changes the direction of velocity. Remember, this acceleration does not change the speed. So here is a case study of acceleration in uniform circular motion and projectile motion. So we have done both. In a projectile motion, the acceleration is acceleration due to gravity, and it always works in the downward direction, and it is always constant. While in circular motion, the acceleration is always working towards the center and its direction keeps changing. Remember, it points towards center, but the vector keeps changing in direction all throughout. Here, the angle between velocity and the acceleration changes. Here it's more than 90 degree. Here it is 90 degree, and here it is less than 90 degree. While in this case, the acceleration vector is always perpendicular to velocity. The angle between them is always 90 degree. In uniform circular motion, since the speed is constant, the time taken to complete one revolution is always same. Such a motion is called periodic motion. So the distance traveled by the particle in one circle is 2 pi r, and let's say the time taken for one revolution, which we will call as period or time period of the circular motion, we will call it as t. Therefore the velocity, which is also distance upon time, can be written as 2 pi r upon t, and therefore a radial, which is v square upon r, can also be written as 4 pi square r by t square. Uniform circular motion as a periodic motion has huge importance in physics. Later, when we will do simple harmonic motion, we will learn how every SHM can be seen as a projection of UCM or uniform circular motion. What is non-uniform circular motion? So in a non-uniform circular motion, speed changes continuously. Example is a roller coaster drive. So in this roller coaster, as the roller coaster moves upward in the circle, the speed decreases, while as it moves downward, the speed goes on increasing. Another example is a particle tied to a string and whirled in a vertical circle. So you can try this. Take a small piece of chalk, tie it to a thread and revolve it in a vertical circle, and you will experience that as the particle moves in the vertical circle, its speed changes continuously. So what is acceleration in non-uniform circular motion? The radial component of acceleration is still there. The velocity vector still changes direction continuously. To bring out this change, radial acceleration is always needed. But apart from this, in a non-uniform circular motion, speed also changes. To bring out the change in the speed, we will need a component of acceleration either in the direction of velocity or opposite to it. Such an acceleration is called tangential acceleration, which is simply dv by dt, and it changes the magnitude of the velocity. The total acceleration, since the radial acceleration is perpendicular to the path and tangential acceleration is along the path, they both are perpendicular to each other, and therefore your net acceleration is given by Pythagoras theorem, which is given as under root of a tangential square plus a radial square. So let's try to understand this in a diagram. Suppose we take a circular path on which if the particle is moving, its velocity is increasing. So if the velocity is increasing, then along with the radial component, it should have a tangential component of acceleration which works in the direction of velocity. And then only the velocity will be able to increase. Therefore, the net acceleration points in this direction, which is a vector sum of a tangential and a radial. Let's take another example in which the velocity is decreasing. In this case, since the velocity is decreasing, the tangential component of acceleration must be pointing opposite to the direction of velocity. So the a tan points in this direction, and therefore the total acceleration is the vector sum of a tan and a rad, which is pointing in this direction. So let's take an exercise to understand the concepts better. Passengers on a carnival ride move at a constant speed in a horizontal circle of 4 meters, making a complete circle in 3 seconds. What is their acceleration? So if you want to solve it on your own, please do that. Come back and check the solution. Here goes the solution. So data is given. Radius is 4 meters, time is 3 seconds. We have to determine acceleration. Since the speed is constant, it's a uniform circular motion. Therefore, the only acceleration that will work is the radial acceleration. Radial acceleration in terms of time period is given by 4 pi square r by t square. So we can put the values in this and get our answer. The answer is 17.5. Since our least number of significant figures in the data is 2, we can restrict our answer to 2 significant figures. So we can do a rounding off. So it will give you 18 meter per second square. Let's take another example. A sports car has a lateral acceleration of 9.4 meter per second square. If the car is traveling at a constant speed of 50 meter per second on a level ground, what is the radius r of the tightest unbanked curve it can negotiate? So try solving it on your own, come back and check the solution. Here goes the solution. Data is given. The maximum acceleration that it can withstand is 9.4 meter per second square, and its velocity is 50 meter per second. We have to find out the tightest radius of the road which it can negotiate. It's a uniform circular motion. So in a uniform circular motion, the only acceleration is radial acceleration, which is given by v square upon r. We rewrite this equation for r as v square upon a radial, put the values and solve. We get the answer as 266 meters. There are some review questions for you to go through. They will help you to understand the concepts better. Thank you.